Welcome back, everyone, to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. Well, we made it through the round of 12 in very convincing fashion. We did not get a victory, but we made it through easily on points. Now here we are in the round of 8, and we're going to start out the round of 8 with a 12-point cushion in second place, just behind Elliott Sadler, who has a 14-point cushion. So not very much cushion to begin. If you remember, when we started the round of 12, we had about a 26, 27-point cushion, so a much larger cushion for ourselves. But this time, only 4 will advance, and that'll be the round of 4 in Homestead, a one-race shot at a championship. So if we look at the top 4, you notice Elliott Sadler, ourselves, William Byron, and Justin Allgaier, teammates, all Junior Motorsports cars, and then Eric Jones, Blake Cook, Ty Dillon, and Daniel Hemrick round out the top 8. So you notice at the very bottom, first things first, Daniel Hemrick is going to have a hard time pointing his way in. He's got to make up 16 points on 4th position. So he's looking at needing some absolutely great finishes. Easily, he's going to have to be in the top 10. And he may even require a victory to get himself to Homestead with a shot. Other than that, Ty Dillon, 9 points out, which isn't a huge deal over 3 races. That's just 3 spots per race that he's got to make up. So that's not terribly bad. Again, top 10s are what you need to be having. You need to realistically have a car that is capable of winning on any given week if you think you're going to go to Homestead with a shot at the championship, because typically you're going to have to, if not win at Homestead, you're going to have to finish in the top 2 or 3, or at least expect to do that in order to have a shot at bringing home the championship. So where are we headed for our first race of the round of 8? We're headed to Kansas, another 1.5 mile track. But this time, as opposed to what we dealt with at Charlotte, with a very narrow racetrack and some very odd transitions into and off the corners, Kansas is much more wide open. Kansas is much wider, plenty of room to race 2 and 3 wide, and it shouldn't be much of an issue as long as everybody can hold their lane and hold their groove around the track. Shouldn't be any issue at all. So if we have the speed, Kansas is definitely a place that we can make our way to the front. So this should be a lot of fun. All right, before we get this race started, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the setup. And once again, it is going to look nearly identical to what we've been using at the other tracks. I have found a setup that I kind of like where this fits us in now that we're in the playoffs. You know, during the regular season, we played around with the setup quite a bit and got it to the point where we could get ourselves realistically finishing 25th to 30th. We could finish 15th to 20th. And then we also had times where we could get up there and contend for top 5s or victories. So now that the playoffs have started, I'm trying to up the ante a little bit and get us closer to the front. And so far, so good. It's worked out pretty nicely. We started out the playoffs and we ran just outside the top 10 at Kentucky. And then from there on, we have been inside the top 10 and in some cases fairly close to the lead. So the setup is working out well, and I'll continue to make maybe minor tweaks as we get closer to Homestead, just depending on what it looks like we're going to need in order to compete. So there you have it. Let's get this race started. All right, green flag here at Kansas. So once again, we are starting in the back, just to add a little bit more to the degree of difficulty. And once again, you can see this track races, watch out, much wider. Much wider than Charlotte. All right, let's see if we can get up here and use this outside a little bit. They are blocking me badly on the bottom 2 grooves, which is to be expected. They're fighting for spots just like we are. Oh, wow. Well, that's some nice spots that we got coming through 3 and 4. All right, let's everybody play nice. Ouch. All right, I have to remind myself, this isn't the regular setup. This is still a modified setup. Woo, watch out, guys. Watch out. Look at all this room up here on the high side. I love it. I absolutely love it. Kansas is absolutely a great racetrack if you're interested in racing, because it has plenty of grooves, plenty of options for the driver. All right, right now we are just mowing these guys down on the high side. And I mean mowing them down. Oh, look out, 52. That was almost very bad for you. All right, the 88. Let's see if we can go back to the high side. I can't tell who that is, but there's a playoff driver down below us on the track. I just noticed right above their name that there was that marker denoting that they're in the playoffs, but I didn't notice who it was. All right, we are up to 17th place. Once again, we'll be running 26 laps. We're finishing up lap 4, starting lap 5. Oh, wow. Once again, we are just mowing these guys down in the corners on speed. Please don't do it, 22. Woo. Again, one of the bad parts about running the high side is the AI, they only think if they're clear right then that they can come up the track. They don't think about momentum and speed, relative speed, anything like that. They don't consider any of that. It's, am I clear right now? If I am, then I take the spot. All right, but luckily we have, so far so good. Let's see. Nope, I don't think I want to stick my nose in there. Thought about it, but no reason to do that. We're on lap 6. If this were the last lap, then yeah, I'd have stuck my nose in there, but not right now. All right, let's head back to the high side. See if we can't make up some spots. Please don't. Whew. Now I've gotten gun shy about these guys coming up the track in front of me. So even if they don't do it, I feel like they're going to do it. All right, so we're up inside the top 10 now. And I can see the leader. This is awfully early in the race for me to be able to see the leader. All right, we're just going to hammer down on this high side now. Yeah, we've definitely got some speed for him in this race. Okay, they were running 3 wide up there. I don't particularly want to take it 3 wide or make it 4 wide beyond that, so we'll try to take it a little bit easy. All right, this is not good. We've made it to the front way earlier than I thought we'd have an opportunity to. Of course, I had no idea if we'd even be able to get there. I was looking for something around a top 5 finish, but right now it looks like we got speed to take the victory here. And we may be able to do it coming off this corner as we come up on Elliott Sadler. Ouch! Appreciate that. Whoever you are, is that Blake Cook? I guess that's one way to keep us from taking the lead. All right, we'll try to line them up. See what we got. Please. Okay, so I guess that's the plan to keep us out of the lead. And that is why the AI can be very frustrating. I don't mind the blocking. I mean, that's one thing. You just have to understand, if you're going to block, it comes with consequences. If the guy you're blocking doesn't lift when you hope he's going to lift. All right, I don't think we're clear to the bottom, so I'm going to have to stay up here and see if we can get a good run on him coming off the corner. Okay, we can. All right, very nice. I like it when they've got speed. All right, this is good. I was thinking the worst once we got to the lead. Oh well, never mind. Elliott Sadler had a terrible corner. He had a terrible entry. I could see that he lost a lot of speed on the entry of 1 and 2, and that enabled us to clear them no problem. All right, we're halfway. I'm going to stay up on this high side, have a little fun. Just play around a little bit. All right, I like it. They're back to the inside. So again, we get a great run coming off of turn 2 on the high side. Great run. Turn 3 and 4, not as much. The low side seems to be the preferred groove there, and we don't have enough speed to hold them off. You can see them getting closer to us, really narrowing that gap on us. Great run down the front straightaway. Here they come. All right, now they're fighting with each other for position. Of course, Blake Cook, this would mean a ton for him. Elliott Sadler, not so much to worry about. If he finishes second or third, he's perfectly fine in the points. He'll have a nice cushion going into race number 2. But Blake Cook, on the other hand, needs all the good finishes he can get. All right, looks like whatever speed they had before is now gone, as they are losing pace. Even with me running up this high on the track. Let's see if they get back any closer to us with me running this really high groove. All right, now it looks like they're fighting with each other. All right, so this is definitely not how I thought this would turn out. I knew we'd have more opportunities to pass on a much wider racetrack as opposed to Charlotte, but I didn't know we'd be able to get to the front like this. Races like this are why we started the science experiment to begin with. So what, we got 7 laps to go, or I guess 6.5 at this point. This thing is plowing pretty good in the corners, which is why I have historically been so disappointed in the performance of the AI, because with this setup, like I said, it is plowing in the corners. There's so much speed left to be had in this setup. You can hear the tire squealing on entry. So much more speed there, and yet I am easily outrunning these guys. Not to mention the fact that I came from 40th to the lead in what was it? It's basically half the race, about 13 laps, 14 laps, something like that. Of course, then it got a little dicey once I got to the front. But yeah, it took us 12 or 13 laps to pass, 38 to 40 cars essentially. Definitely not sure what the developers were thinking there and how they missed it this bad on the speed of the AI. Because I'm definitely not going to claim, just like I mentioned in all the setup videos when I release them, this isn't about me trying to claim that I'm the fastest guy. That's not what this is about at all. The setups are about trying to find a comfort zone where you can find speed, but at the same time, the car feels good and it's fun to drive. You have to remember there are two elements to a successful setup. You can have a setup that works great for somebody else and is blindingly fast, but if it only works for you for 2 or 3 laps before you wreck it, then it's no good. So it's about finding a setup that is fast for you. And it has to be not just fast, but also somewhat comfortable. Now, we're not talking, extreme comfort here, which would be, for most people, extreme comfort would be extremely tight, where kind of like what I'm driving now is part of the science experiment, where the car, it just doesn't want to turn, making the car very stable. Makes the car much easier to drive that way. But look at that. I mean, this thing is just plowing through the corners. Also, if we had any tire wear to speak of in this game, then I would be getting bludgeoned on the front tires. And these things would be worn out completely. So as far as things that I hope that they are able to do next year, I'm not sure they will because of the direction of the game and the type of game that they're making. But the things I would like to see as more of a sim racer than an arcade style racer, what I would like to see is, number one, let's get some tire wear in here. Let's get these tires to where they drop off, depending on the track, 2 to 3 seconds a lap. Places like Atlanta that become so much fun with tire wear. All right, there we go. So tire wear, and then also let's adjust the AI. Let's make them better, and let's also make them faster so that we don't have to worry about things like this happening. All right, so we ended up winning by, too many seconds. Too many. All right, let's see what that does to the points. How about that? 98 grand is our share of the winner's purse. Not a bad day's work. All right, so of course that's going to automatically have us advancing to Homestead. Hey, that's what we want. We want to make sure that we get to Homestead with a shot. So now that means we can play around a little bit in these next couple of races, have some fun, and not have to worry at all about points position. So we come home with the victory and the guarantee at a place at Homestead. Elliott Sadler, again, great position. He's up 17 points. William Byron plus 11. And Justin Allgaier is only 2 points ahead of Blake Cook. Blake Cook, as long as he held on to either second or third, really good finish for him. And he's only 2 points out of where he needs to be. So Justin Allgaier is going to be sweating it out, looking for a victory here at the next race so that he can guarantee himself a spot to move on. Daniel Hemrick, however, did not have a good race. Ty Dillon, not a good race. So those guys are looking at basically must-wins if they're going to move on to Homestead. All right, there's our trophy. Always nice to take home the trophy. We won't worry about the fastest lap. All right, let's see if we get any messages. Oh, we did not complete all the incentive goals. Better luck with the next contract. Oh, we got a message from Joey Logano. Let's play it.
That's 25 wins. Congratulations.
25 wins in the career mode. Okay. All right, I have not been keeping track, so I did not know we have had that many. And if you think about it, that is an absolute ton of wins. This is our second season, one season in the trucks, and now we are moving closer to the end of our second season, which is now in the Xfinity series. So 25 wins is astronomical. All right, I guess we will. Let's see where we have 3 races in it, top 10 and top fives and wins. Sure, we'll take this one. All right, so there you have it. Where do we head next? Texas, another 1.5 mile track, another wide open, plenty of room to race at this track. So again, it's going to be interesting. Have to see what I want to do with the setup there and just play around, have a little fun. But of course, that'll be in our next video.